need to shift away from this economy of government.
Okay, thank you very much. You just mentioned the importance of agriculture to drive the building of youth capacity, but I believe there are some other areas where the IYC can, meaningfully engage government, the private sector, but of course, let's say for time, we might not be able to, venture into every one of them. Okay, from some section of the country, Nigeria is described as a geographic expression, and some others hold the opinion that the amalgamation in what we have today has been the climax of Nigeria's woe, as the process was devoid of inclusiveness, due process, and that is by ensuring that there is even participation by every section of the country that the effects would have a direct bearing on. Recently, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, came up with the initiative alongside his cabinet, alongside his administration, every other member of his administration, to come up with a national conference which would, avail Nigerians the opportunity of coming to sit down on the round table and decide how they want to be governed, make inputs on the policies and programs that would ensure effective governance. What is your take on that? Because that has received stiff resistance from some sections of the country.
Well, first of all, I want to say that I am proud as an Ijaw man to say that we as the Ijaw people and Niger Delta are the people who have produced a president who have taken the bold step to addressing the errors that were left uncorrected in the amalgamation of the protectorates. The basis for our arguments, the basis for our agitation has been that we were not consulted before we were forcefully amalgamated, and therefore we have been seeking redress. It's on that strength that all our discourse, the sole aim of the agitation of the Niger Delta is for self-determination and resource control. So for us to also produce a president who have decided to initiate the panacea to resolve Nigeria's problem, first of all, as a Niger Delta and as a German, I am proud to associate with him. And this is part of the reason why the president is being fought by letters and all that. The national dialogue is the opportunity for us to peacefully resolve the crises that have bedeviled this country. Crisis of unemployment, insecurity, corruption, and all that. Nigerians must sit on the round table to agree on the principles for which we will continue to remain as one. And if we go and talk, we are not saying that Nigeria should divide. But if we so desire that it should divide, then to your turn to Israel. But we are saying that true federalism should be the last option, where every nationality, every state will begin to fend for itself. You will engender competition. Go to South Africa and other nations. There are provinces that compete in agriculture, education, infrastructure. So if I come here and see that these people are building a very big or a gigantic project that will surpass us, which will go back to the drawing board and organize something like that. That's what we want in Nigeria, where laziness will be thrown to the back seat, where young people's capacity will be brought to the table and used to develop the nation. And so for me, we are taking advantage of that discourse. The IYC had set up a 3-man committee to work with the National Executive. Alhaji Asari as representing the East, Elder John representing the Central, and Dr. Bello representing the West. The reason for this is that they have been in the beginning. Let them bring the wealth of experience with the younger generation, the new leadership today, so that we can go to that table and articulate our position. Our position has been on a straight line. And so, for me, we thank God that the president have been able to set the ball rolling. Unfortunately, Nigerians keep crying wolf where there is none. They are saying that why should we go to the National Assembly? Why are they going to vote this year and there? And just the opposition is using it to create problems in this country. For me, I think that Goodluck has done his bit by setting the ball rolling. It is not left for us and the so-called opposition, if they actually meant well for this country, to now ensure that the resolutions reached form the basis for 2015 and beyond. So if we go to that discourse by this year, then whatever we agree upon, it should not be subject to a National Assembly. In fact, if we decide that it should go to a National Assembly, then that's how it should go. But as the president, what do you expect him to do? You want him to say that Nigeria should go and vet it, so that the National Assembly will now say he has breached protocol and want to start impeaching and all those nonsense. Of course, he has done his bit. It is left for us, the ethnic nationalities, to insist that this agreement must be the basis for which we will continue the 2015. So if you want to do president and you say you be nothing and you want to continue in this business, then the basis for our discussion should be on the table. I think that that's how we should go, and if we go by that, Nigeria will be a better place beyond 2015.
Okay, let's look at an issue that recently transpired in Niger, and that will also border on the capacity of the IYC and also maximizing our youthful resources at achieving our common cause. Yanagua recently went agog with a supposed federal government package of I think to the tune of 100,000 naira, where Biafrans, especially youths, were seen scrambling, here and there in pursuit of a form from one of the commercial banks, believed to be tickets for the 100,000 naira. I think that went a long way in portraying how susceptible the average Ijaw youth is. And what are the measures put in place to ensure that an average is greatly informed, not just on national issues, not just on issues bordering on the state, but also topical issues as well, from wherever they may emanate, and also avoid cases of radicalization for financial gratification, in return for financial gratification.
Well, very interesting. You see, I told you guys that the IYC has come through a very negative path. In the past, if we begin to x-ray it, we may not live here today, but I will quickly go dabble into it. Our young people are ignorant. Ignorance is the biggest problem we have. I have always said that part of the reason why I came to become president is that I want to tackle the issue of ignorance. It's one of my major challenges that I want to face head on. A lot of people are not informed. That's why you hear stories. Once somebody wakes up in the morning and says something, everybody will just jump at it. Somebody gets up and tells you that federal government, Goodluck wants to pay 100,000. You don't even ask from where now. Goodluck cannot just wake up and pay 100,000 to who now? And you are forgetting that if Goodluck pays 100,000 to Ijaw youths, Yoruba youth will wake up. Yoruba youth will wake up. Outside, just as we did amnesty, and then the northerners started agitating for amnesty, as every other part of the country, believing that we are benefiting. And he is president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It cannot happen. But because of ignorance, our people just jumped into it. I asked the question. I wasn't in the country when it started, and then I was called. I said, wait, if Goodluck wants to support us, it has to come under a subheading, either NDDC or Shopee or Youth Ministry. And then when I called these people, I didn't see any rationale, because we have been on these areas before and we didn't see anything coming from there. So how can all of a sudden a bank is paying 100,000? So the IYC quickly set machineries in place to find out the true position, and found out that there wasn't any basis. And so we went on air to debunk it, because we were hearing IYC was also part of it. So we went to debunk it. Now, in order to resolve this, is the reason why I'm here today. I told you that we have started this week on courtesy visit to media houses, because we cannot achieve anything without the participation of the media. The media have helped the just struggle to get to the level it is today.
I would like to say thank you for
that. Yes, so we in our courtesy visit, we have been thanking the media houses for what they did the whole of 2013 and have been doing, and we are trying to forge a relationship with the media houses, and graciously NDTV, we have been able to secure 1 hour every week as IYC time. The reason for this is that at everything we'll be doing week by week, the judges will be educated about it. We also secured the same 1 hour with AIT, so we'll be having youth time, IYC time on AIT, IYC time on NDTV. We intend to, we'll be going to Eastern Zone, Port Harcourt, Akwa Ibom. We'll be going to Western Zone, Delta, Edo, Ondo State, where we'll be securing that with the media houses there as well, so that the leadership of the IYC in the West will be using that time. And let me tell you, it's not about Udengs or his leadership alone. We can just sit down and call an enjoy youth and say, please go to NDTV and discuss youth activities. We can call students, very key, to go and discuss this week on student activities as it relates to youth development. That way people will constantly be getting informed. Don't also forget that we have always been a media friendly leadership, and so we will use the media to properly educate our people. Now I talked about a database. Some people felt that maybe it was that database that was coming up. Before the database will be unveiled by the end of this month, because the database is under construction now. And you know it's very expensive. You have to buy bandwidth and all that. So we are doing it. By the time we are ready, we will educate the people via the media. And that's why the media is important. There's too much rumor. For instance, you are hearing that they say INC has cancelled that IYC election. Unfounded rumors, ignorance. INC doesn't have the powers to do that, for God's sake. You next thing, INC is defeating. They want to do another election. Come on. If one want to do election, go and do election. You don't have powers to dabble into IYC. And so, because of ignorance among young people, youths, you hear one news, they start traveling kilometers. They are going to Abuja, they are going to here. At the end of the day, you go there and you are shut out. It's because of ignorance. So, the biggest problem we have is ignorance. And we must use the media effectively to communicate our issues to the public, so that somebody don't just call you and say a bank is want to pay you 100,000. So if they want to pay you 100,000, you just rush, and then it was by the grace of God, lives would have been lost in the pandemonium that took place in that place. But going forward, because we will be constantly educating the people, anytime you also hear that the IYC is holding a meeting, please and please, youths of Bayelsa should attend. Don't be physically challenged, because yesterday I was on Royal FM and the physically challenged was asking whether they were to I said, so as you attend, then you can bring your issues and I also give you responsibility and frankly IYC is an umbrella for every enjoyment. So far as you are born of a job parent, you are a member of the IYC, and you have every right to be part of the IYC activities. So if you sit at home, then you will allow cultists to be your leaders. And so when they go and carry out certain activities in the public, it would be rub off on all of us, including our parents. So parents should also ensure that their young ones participate actively in the IYC, so that we don't allow them for brigands and ignorance. That's not how it should be. It should be an organization, an umbrella that protects all of us, including you, who is a journalist, a sound doctors, a sound engineers, sound bricklayers, who believe in doing what is right. We are not a lawless organization. And so our conduct will go a long way to portray what the Ijaw man is made. So if we begin to block this response and destroy this message, and then lose their lives, it will be portraying us that our parents are young Ijaw, you participate in this IYC, you will never see all these incidents of blockade or no blockade, which have brought a lot of negativity to the IYC. So what we are doing now is erasing that negativity and concept that the society have about IYC, which is our foundation stage that we are today. Between now and May latest, the IYC would have been ready to be on the speed lane of progress, because at that time issues about our database have been concluded. Our constitution we will review for 1 month. We already have a reviewed constitution. It's just to remove all those personal issues that were put in BOT and all those nonsense out of it, and then we pass that constitution. Then the clan elections will begin. And so if you are a young graduate, you are a sound person, you believe that you can lead. And let me also tell the public that the IYC is very interesting. It's a place where you will be taught how to lead people, because it is not our bus stop. The society is there, but you must have an opportunity to be groomed. Look at our parliament. The IYC parliament sits like the Nigerian parliament. You know, people make mistakes, correct themselves, go back and look at what National Assembly is doing, State Assembly is doing. Some of our parliamentarians go and sit down to look at the State Assembly. It's a learning process. So young ones who intend to be in leadership must take advantage of the IYC. Clan elections will soon begin. Zonal elections will soon begin. The parliament will be structured so that young people will use it as an opportunity to express themselves in readiness to adding value to society when the time comes. So all this is geared towards awakening the interest of young people to be part of it, because the IYC actually exposes you a lot. We will be traveling. In fact, the ANC Youth Wing just invited the IYC to Mandela's burial. You know, and there will be so much exposure. For instance, we were just been informed that a lot of Ijaw people during the slave trade were taken to Suriname. It's a Dutch colony in South America. So we intend to go to Suriname to identify with the Ijaws and then set up our umbrellas, just as the Yorubas have set up their umbrellas in Brazil and all other places. And so while I was Secretary General, we went to UK to inaugurate the chapter. We went to America to inaugurate the chapter. We will go around again to set up structures so that while we are doing our agitation, we can be communicating with the international society, and our people will be sending our message across the world. Our issues are not on the table of UN. Forget all these stories where some of our leaders in the deceive us. Hey, we and Obama and Bush snap picture. That's not the issue. Ijaw issues on the table internationally, just as the Ogonis have put their matters on the table. The UNEP report that is bringing so much money to Ogoni today. The spillage in Ogoni is child's play compared to what is happening in Ijaw land. I have traveled via chopper around this Ijaw nation. I have seen. And the IYC, in a few months to come, will be traveling around with a chopper in a view of collating data. What is happening in Bonny? We were in Bonny in December. Abandoned projects by federal government. There is no reason or justification why Bonny should not have a road from Port Harcourt. Because so much money. So much money. Look at Brass LNG. Brass LNG will absorb over 20,000 young people. If Brass LNG kicks off, then we can begin to address the issues about kidnapping, pipeline vandalization. You must have economic incentives to engage the young people before even going to use the stick approach. So it must be a carrot and stick approach. And so we are using this medium to call on Shopee. We fought for Shopee. When the entire nation was against removal of subsidy, Ijaw youths went to the street and supported it, and even threatened Pengasan. That was how they called off the strike, and everything collapsed, and eventually subsidy was removed and Shopee was set up using those funds for investment. Today, if you put us on the ladder of achievements, the Nigerian people are down below the ladder. Benefits from that Shopee that we fought for. Till date, fuel is more expensive in our region. We are talking about Yenego and not to talk of southern Niger and other places. When by right, We should have had all those floating filling stations littered around our region with NNPC bringing the supplies for fuel to be reduced. Okay. So we are saying that the Shopee funds should be put in the Bomo-Bonny road as a matter of urgency. The IYC is putting a document to that effect. It is our money. We are not begging you to do it. It's our money. We fought for it. So put the money to complete the Bomo road, just as Shopee money has been used to complete virtually all the roads going on in this country, railway and the rest. And then Bonny, Ogbia-Nimbe Brass Road. We want to use this medium to thank the governor of Bayelsa State for injecting 3 billion in that project that will see the road from Ogbia to Nimbe. The road must get to Brass. And therefore Shopee, bring our money, put it in the road so that we can expose that area to quick response by security. Then all these pipeline vandals will run far. Gradually we'll begin to address that issue. If you are doing the road to that place, you engage a lot of these young boys. Nobody actually is interested. No Ijaw man is interested in breaking that pipeline to endanger his environment. Okay, but because of circumstances.
Yes. But now let's look at the issue of ensuring adequate information. Yes, of course, you've just made the call for even participation by not just individuals, within our states or the Niger Delta states, but also in diaspora, to bring their wealth of experience into the IYC to ensure that there is effective dissemination of information as regards policies of the federal government, and also how to galvanize the necessary support and resources, which of course the Ijaw youth has in abundance to further our cause and also our national interest. Well, we'll come back to discuss some more issues on the program, and like I told you, you're watching Bayelsa in Action, and my name is David Amabra, and of course with a very special guest, the president of the Ijaw Youth Council, and the person of our comrade Udengs Erade. We've been some issues bordering on the IYC and its role to nation building. We'll take a break and we'll come back to discuss some more.
Credible organizations, credible people, they are bound in the state. We're just recycling.
Is the leisure and tourism island. There, right there, you see the castle.
So that we can develop academically.
Salt of the earth. As the water gets down, this salt is going to make everything sweet.
Because in the next 1 year, all economies will see complete importance in
the federating units own and control their resources and pay appropriate taxes to the center.
Welcome back. You're onto the program Bayelsa in Action, a platform where issues of governance, issues of social and cultural relationships are being discussed and built upon, and also topical issues as it affects the society are deliberated with aim of positively bringing to bear the need for transparency, accountability, and also the issue of trust in our daily activities in governance. I am here with the president of the Ijaw Youth Council, and that is in the person of Comrade Udengs Erade, and we've talked extensively, but I believe there are still some issues that we have to deliberate upon, and especially issues that affect us as a people. The issue of illegal oil bunkering has been more or less like a pandemic in the Niger Delta region. It has caused untold hardship to farmers. It has caused untold hardship to fishermen, which of course we still hold our heads high as proud fishermen of this region. And to an extent, government has been battling this issue for some time now without actually having a very concrete stance at eradicating the issue of oil bunkering, which we know that considering the challenges, it will be very, very difficult to completely eradicate the issue of oil bunkering, but at least undermine the operations of these people perpetrating this act against nature. We would like to look at the role, the complementary role the IYC intends to play under your administration to effectively, ensure that the issue of oil bunkering is at least brought to its barest.
Well, that's one of the biggest challenges that we have. We had looked at it, and it is multi-dimensional. First of all, government approach have not been sincere. When you say government, is holistic. Successive governments, even before today, had committed errors, and those errors have now turned to the norm. What is happening? For me, we don't blame our job people. Ignorance, I told you here. Ignorance is one of the biggest problems. Our people believe that since you have refused to do what we have been asking, and it is this oil that you are using to do it, we said we will go take this oil because we will feed one. That's our belief now. Women no longer go to farm in Niger communities. People no longer go for fishing. Will you be fishing, looking for fish that these people have destroyed and not getting? Then go and take the oil and sell it. You will make the same money. So it is a negative trend that is changing the way we live as a job people, and that's where the worry comes. Our traditional ways of life are being eroded by these alien activities of both government, oil companies especially, and some community leaders. For the issue of vandalization, we blame the oil companies a lot. They are also culpable, as well as government. On the ladder, the people are just on the last set of people on the ladder. It is the oil companies number one, the oil government, and the communities who need to survive. They have to survive. Now, we have to educate our people about the dangers. First, like IYC, we are trying to engage World Health Organization to carry out a holistic medical exam in communities. We just take some few communities, do exams across board, and let the people see the nakedness of the dangers of the activities that they are carrying out. I trained about 50 young people in South Africa. They had to go through eye test for the course in South Africa, and they discovered 30% of them with a particular blindness,
eye defect.
Yes, that have not been recorded in medical history. I have the records. If I remember, I would have come with the pictures so you see it. And when we sampled them, they were the people that came from the communities, 30% of them. Now they are doing a study on it. So we want to engage World Health Organization to carry out a study, health exams on our people. You will be amazed at the findings that will occur. For the oil companies, because our people need to be educated about the dangers first. It is that will dissuade them. But if you use the military approach, it will not happen. Let me tell you, even the military, they are lobbying so much to come to Niger Delta under GTF. Because when they come to the Niger Delta, they drive cars, build big houses. Why? Because they are part of the stealing of the oil. And so the military action will never yield results. Now they will just even bring big vessel and load it and go and sell it. It's as bad as that. People sit down in Abuja, even in National Assembly, as they are talking every day, challenging the president. Some of them are oil thieves in the National Assembly. We know them, we have their data. So what I'm trying to say is that the people who bring these big vessels and use our communities are the people that are in power.
Are not actually Niger Deltas.
They are not Niger Deltas. So our people must know that this boys, some of them sit in hotels, Intercontinental Hotel, all those big hotels in Lagos, and they use phone to send their boys to the communities. They pay them 15 naira, 30 naira, as the case may be, per liter. You who have collected that money have destroyed your environment, put the lives of your unborn children in jeopardy. Very soon we'll start giving birth to children without limbs, because these things affect the genetics of our people. This is the long-term effect. But the man sits in a hotel in Lagos, Abuja, and sells this product at 160 naira per liter, the cooked one, or the raw crude, you go and sell it at, if it is 110 in the OPEC market, $90 per barrel. And they make so much money and be driving big cars. Meanwhile, we are killing ourselves in our communities. Our people need to be educated. For the oil companies, to clamp one hole, them and their contractors, to clamp one hole is 7.5 million. So if you clamp 10 holes, it's 75 million. Hello, sir. So it means that the contractors and the company directors, because most of all those contracting companies are owned by directors in Shell and all those companies. They know what I'm saying. So from the back door, they will encourage the destruction of the pipelines to 100 holes, so that 7.5 million times 100. Then they come to the community and look for one baruka in the community and give him 2 million, 3 million. They'll start to scatter community and destroy these pipelines. We must organize summits at the community levels. It's part of what the IYC wants to do. Especially in Bayelsa State, Brass, Southern Niger, Kirimo. We will organize summits. Let the community people be part of the discourse and part of the solution. Let us not sit in Yenegua and look for a solution, or sit in Abuja and stereotype a solution for the people. No. Let the people be part of the discourse and the solution.
They must be involved.
Again, we are trying to discourage oil companies buying generators for communities to provide light when your facility is just a stone throw from the community. The danger is that when they buy generator, you hear that the Shell will be providing diesel every week. The politics that destroy communities come from that diesel. CDC chairman don't go sell 10 drums shopping. Fights don't start. People begin to carry gun. Who will do the contracting? Now we are saying that if you discourage it, stop it. Link every community within your facility to the facility. So if the community destroys the pipeline, they will not have light. Hello, sir.
Yes.
So you tie every oil facility in a community. The power for that community should be tied to the facility. Like Ubaraubie here. As you have tied Baratoro and Ubuna, you have to also include the other communities because they have the capacity to do that. So that the other communities will not get annoyed that one day sabotage if the opportunity arises. But when they are benefiting from it, they know that if one pipeline is destroyed, there will be no light in the community for 1 year. Nobody will do it. If somebody does it, the community will go after the person. So we must begin to look at proactive ways of using the companies. So if a pipeline is destroyed, the company should be the one that should repair it from their processes. You know, company process, they will go and buy the pipe and come and fix it. Because they will not be giving out contracts, gradually people will begin to be discouraged from destroying it. It's because when you destroy pipeline, clean up contract day, replacement contract day, and these contracts are done by directors in these companies. So the investigation, if government is serious, must go into all those oil companies as well. First, before even you talk about the community. For the part of the community, we will educate our community about the dangers. But you see, the economic incentive to dissuade them must come from government. That's why the government cannot just set up a tax force to go to the... If the tax force goes, as they are leaving, business continues. That's what is happening with the JTF solution, that government is not making any progress. As they are leaving, in some cases, communities begin to arm themselves to fight them because now our property, now our oil, if we want to come back, we consign us. But in using it to bait, it is creating grave danger for us and our future. So it's a major problem for IYC. We are designing our modus operandi to engage. We hope that government, for Bayelsa State, we don't have a problem because the Bayelsa government don't have a choice. The more they are destroying the pipeline, the more the economy of the state is going down. The more the revenue is going down.
Yes.
And this is a government who is very serious about developing Bayelsa. And in order for him to develop Bayelsa, he needs resources. So he's very serious about it. And that's why we are engaging with him. on the volunteer as well. Because we don't want a situation where government sets this committee, set that committee, this one is doing this one is doing that one. There has to be synergy. And that's why you see the delay in the volunteer as well. When the volunteer will eventually come up, it will incorporate a lot of all these activities. NNPC is bringing money for pipeline surveillance. Some people just sit down and they are sharing this money. It won't happen.
Okay.
Those funds must be injected into that process so that the communities know that they are part and parcel of it.
Hence the need for protection of
yes, because they are paid for it.
Yes.
How can you be spending millions every month and then the pipeline vandalization is increasing? It means that the money you are spending is not going to the targeted audience. It's common sense. So we must review, and let me tell you, under this leadership of IYC, everything concerns us. It's just that there are certain steps we cannot take because we are not government, but we will advise government and also show the best way to go, and we will be disciplined on our own self. As IYC president, there are certain things I cannot do, because in order to change the society, we have to express.
You must lead by example. Okay, thank you very much. And let's also quickly look at this very important issue, and that is the issue of finances, accountability, and also clarity of purpose, which to a large extent have undermined the achievements of the IYC, thereby creating a disconnect in the issue of trust, not just on the executive, but the leadership of the IYC, between the youths and successive leadership of the IYC. What measures do you intend to introduce to enshrine transparency and accountability to the Ijaw youth, which you stand to represent, so as to build trust and further strengthen the common cause of the Ijaw nation? Of course, taking comparative advantage, which you have as just elected recently.
One of our biggest problems is trust. You see, in the past, it is unheard of for IYC to even disclose how much it gets. We have had a negative trend of people who hide, go somewhere, collect money, they don't run. Leaders that are supposed, if I mention some of their names, you will jump up off your chair. Leaders that you know, I won't do that.
Yes.
Leaders that some of us should have been seen as examples. When they put money on the table, that time you will know that the leader made a mistake. And so one of our biggest problem is the issue of trust. And that's why I have, at all opportunities I have had, I have tried to be as transparent as possible. When I was Secretary General, the transparency was expressed. At various levels, when you bring Christmas money, people are used to running away with it. IYC leaders, we have them. But while I was Secretary General, when NDDC gave us 4 million that year, we met to divide this money according to the clans. And then for us, there is dignity in labor. We should stop receiving free money. Monies must be tied to projects. So the IYC, as Secretary General in this zone that time, I asked every clan to clean their communities. I still have the pictures. Every clan, as far as Akasa, Brass, Nimpi, you must clean the gutters in your communities, clear the bush in your community to collect your check of your share of the money. I still have the pictures. Every clan in Zarama, they were clearing water essence. I still have the pictures. In Yenegua, as far as Igbogene, we cleaned all the roadsides, cleared the bush to allow for oncoming traffic to see the other side. We took cutlass and were clearing all those bushes before you could even access your money. And it was in a bank. Every clan had his own. Just recently, the state government graciously supported the IYC as usual. That money went to every clan in Ijaw land. Every clan, as far as Arubo in Ondo State to Ibeno in Akwa Ibom. All of them had the same amount. When we hold meetings, the money is meant for the mobilization of youths. Before then, they take a run, disappear. But it won't happen in my time. I've held 3 meetings from just last 2 months, and those 3 meetings, every penny that was meant was shared there. People will give you the credit and confidence when they see that you are transparent. But see, the one way I go shop, you no go see yourself. Yes, because it is your head that you use to activate things for yourself. But what belongs to the Ijaw youths must get to them. 1 naira should not be missing. That is my kind of individual, and it is that discipline that I have brought to the table. Okay. Just December, we have acquired a land. By the middle of next year, we will be commissioning the IYC Secretariat in Yenegua. Before the end of this year, we will commission the IYC Secretariat in Bomadi. We have acquired 2 plots of land. So that monies of IYC should not be about sharing, no legacy, no documentation, nothing. Our secretariat in Yenegua will have a standard library where you can go in and find Ijaw materials to read. Assuming we have visitors, I have visited a lot of youth organizations in the world. Sometimes I go there and I am ashamed because they rate us very highly, and yet we have nothing on ground. And don't forget that we have had leaders in the past. Leaders that will not even allow some of us even lead today self. They say if no be them, they don't agree. But when they were in office, they did nothing to put the IYC in the place that it should be. We have come to change all that. All we need is the support of the people. No be everybody go support you. I'm not expecting everybody to support me.
But at least the majority of people support.
The majority will be with us.
Yes.
But if you are not going to support our move, just wait for corner. Because the time they were doing brigandage in IYC, good people sat at the side. A lot of you did not identify. This is the time when all the good people who were by the corner will come and identify. So if you want to be a bad person, I don't want to change, stay by the corner, otherwise we are a moving train that will crush you.
Okay, let's quickly look at this other issue for the sake of time. I'd like you to throw light into the democratic structure of the IYC and its ability as the foremost Ijaw youth organization to apply internal mechanism at resolving issues so as not to project the IYC in bad light before the entire country and the world. Because I think recently, there was this issue of continuous patronage of some national tabloids and national media outfits, bringing unpleasant stories about the IYC to the face of the public. How's the democratic structure, and how do we intend to enshrine that internal mechanism at resolving our issues internally? It has to be at home.
Yeah, it has been very embarrassing. Our elections were postponed because of personal interest. Because of personal interest. My boy and I is supposed to be president. If the machinery is not put in place, heavens will fall. No, why should Bayelsa State be interested in IYC? Meanwhile, the Bayelsa State funds it. Then somebody sits outside the state and want to decide. These are the issues. But the IYC have an internal electoral mechanism that is watertight. Apart from this last election that had some issues because of perceived interest that must be, to the point where even INC leadership had candidates. Part of all what you are seeing and embarrassment you are seeing is because their candidates did not win. In the past, it has never been. We conducted the elections that brought these people into place. It was very transparent because of the mechanism that the council has. But that mechanism has had its own problems in recent times. So we are going to review the constitution to make it watertight. If from day one we know who is a delegate, we will reduce this politicking and interest. In other organizations, once you are probably a chairman, you are an automatic delegate. So everybody knows from day one who a delegate is. These are some of the things that we'll take care of in our constitution. Again, before you can contest for president of any look at the organizations, even Ratawo, which you are a member of. If you have not held zonal or clan offices or chapter of, you cannot be president. Because how are you going to be president of an organization you know nothing about? And in knowing something about the organization, you must have served at various levels. These will be taken care of adequately in our constitution. So if you have not held certain key positions, you cannot be president. like in Pegasan and all those organizations, if you have not been a chapter president and even in the National Executive Council at a time, you cannot be president because you don't know what to come and do. That's part of what is lacking in the IYC constitution. So when as at the next elections, before that election, you will see the candidates. There won't be more than 3 candidates because you must have been tested at the local level
and trusted
to be able to hold the apex office. But look at our election. 17 candidates. Some people, they don't even know what the IYC is about. Our manifesto, I think the people need to also see our manifesto
because
to make their judgment.
There were issues of even people coming out to say they spent so much money and there's need for them to be reimbursed
their money. Now look at what the crisis was about. We don't spend money, so government. You don't know say you no go win the election before you can't spend money. See trouble. Some people came and invested their school fees, believing that if I put 100,000, make trouble, government will give me 1 million. This is the negativity of Nigerian politics that we are all imbibing, and it won't happen in this IYC. IYC doesn't have money. So my brother, we will correct it by the review process of the constitution and by clear conscience of leadership. Past leaders, if you have led this organization before, we expect you to be contributing in your zone. Buy bus for them, give them the soft landing to operate properly, support them financially and logistically. Don't begin to be interested in who becomes. As you see me, I've been taught never to have personal interest in an election because the one that you think is your own is the one that will disappoint you. Okay. So this IYC, we will be transparent. As when I was Secretary General, everybody saw how I did the clan elections. And there is a process. Clans elections before zonal elections. And all those who want to be zonal chairmen in this election, they will all be members of the committee that will go and do clan elections. You must go around the nation to lead the nation. You must know everywhere.
Okay, just to wrap it up, because unfortunately time is not our friend. Because if we had the opportunity, we could just go on and on and on, trying to x-ray the activities of the IYC and also coming up with better ideas on enhancing the IYC as one of the foremost Ijaw youth organization. Just to wrap it up, I'll give you some few seconds. What is the IYC stand come 2015? Because I'll use this very popular saying by Nelson Mandela. Although he applied it to a sporting activity, he would love a democratic election come 2015. We would love a democratic process of electing officers into position of trust come 2015. But I believe the world knows on whose side we are on.
Yeah, it's a gradual process in Nigeria. The democratic process will not be complete just in 2015. It's a gradual process. We hope that we'll have 60% to 90% of democratic, because what the opposition is doing is they are already undemocratic. You see a president that is performing, instead of supporting him, everything the president does, they want to paint it in bad light. They have already started being politically violent. That is political violence already on the sitting president. For IYC, we believe that we win 2015 elections not by shedding blood, but by building bridges across nations. And that's why we are very keen about building our home first. And that's why I've been giving timelines. Between now and the middle of this year, we should have concluded our internal mechanism to bring ourselves together and begin to reach out to other ethnic nationalities. Just not too long ago, Arewa people visited us here in Bayelsa, and we are looking forward to returning that visit. You see, but we want to be taking care of our things as we are moving on. 2015, the president have actually done so much that a lot of presidents have not done. That letter was written because if we allow this good luck the way they going to overshadow us and will be like the Mandela of the second Mandela of Africa, let us undermine him. That's what they are doing. But the more they are doing it, it's good for us because it is now making Nigeria sit up to say, this good luck, let us actually x-ray him. And more Nigerians are beginning to see reasons why Goodluck must become president in 2015. Now we, as IYC, will campaign on the strength of the works of the president to the other ethnic nationalities. Amadiri schools, roads, economy, education, and all that we will bring to the table. Power we will bring to the table. If he has done this, let us allow him. Constitutionally, he also have the right.
Yes, of course.
So, based on constitution, we will do our bit by reaching out to other ethnic nationalities, building bridges. The ones who no go vote for us, we will make sure say they no go see peace until the election will finish.
All right, thank you, viewers across Bayelsa State, the Niger Delta, and wherever you're catching our live signals from. We would like to say thank you for your participation. I have been talking to the president of the Ijaw Youth Council in the person of Comrade Udengs. I'd like to say thank you for making our time to be here today to discuss very important issues. All right, until we come your way again, I am David Amabra on the program Bayelsa in Action. Do well to tune in, same time, same station, for another very exciting edition. Thank you.